Yo, what's up? Bringing you that MLB 16 The Show. In this series, we're going up against the Miami Marlins. Here is our lineup. You can check it out. But we're going to talk about the May recap. Every month, we do a little recap, go over our player stats and how we did in the month. So in the month of May, we finished with a record of 11-17, which is pretty bad. And now we're 11.5 games back in the NL Central to the Chicago Cubs. After April, we were only 2 games back, so we definitely have some improvements to make. So let's go over some of the stats. We're going to do the top 3 players in each main category, which is batting average, hits, runs, RBIs, and home runs. So our top players of the month in batting average were Andrew McCutchen. He hit .319. Second was J.Jaso hitting .311. In third was C.Figueroa hitting .308, and I'm actually surprised about this because I didn't notice he was having such a good month. If I did, I would have definitely used him more in the lineups. He's playing more of a platoon role. But now going on to hits, first was Andrew McCutchen with 38 hits. Second was J.Jaso with 34 hits. And third was J.Harrison with 25 hits. Now going on to runs, once again Andrew McCutchen leading the way with 16 runs. J.Jaso again in second with 15 runs, and J.Harrison in third with 13 runs. RBIs, Andrew McCutchen had 19 RBIs, J.Jaso had 17 RBIs, and J.Mercer and Matt Joyce tied for third with 7 RBIs, which kind of is disappointing because Mercer, he doesn't hit well for us, and then Matt Joyce plays a platoon role. So for them to have 7 RBIs, I mean, it's good for us, but we definitely need other players to come in and step up. And then finally, home runs. J.Harrison had 4 in the month. Andrew McCutchen had 3. J.Jaso had 3. And then Matt Joyce had 1. And the disappointing thing about this is that was all our home runs. So we only hit 11 home runs in the month of May, which is pretty bad. And we definitely need to make some improvements on that. But Andrew McCutchen, he was in the top 5 for all the stats, along with J.Jaso. So although we did struggle in this month, I mean, we did have 11-17 record, I'm still optimistic for our future, and I am confident that we still will make the playoffs. And the big reason for that is we played this whole month without Starling Marte. Just to put it in perspective, looking back at the April recap, Starling Marte batted .368, had 35 hits, 18 runs, 7 home runs, and 14 RBIs. You add those numbers up with what Andrew McCutchen and J.Jaso did this month, I feel like we're going to be dangerous. And that's what we needed. We needed other players to step it up while Starling Marte was out. His initial timetable was 2 to 3 months for his injury. It's now 3 to 4 weeks. So during this month of June, there's the possibility of him returning, and that will change the whole season for us, because he did so well for us in that first month. If he continues to play like that when he returns from injury, along with what McCutchen and Jaso did, and hopefully the rest of the team starts stepping it up, I think we're in a good position moving forward. And even if we're down 11.5 games right now to the Cubs, once again, once Marte comes back, I think we can narrow that gap, and by end season, hopefully we will catch them and hopefully steal the division from them. But moving on, we have other players to discuss. So other notable players, Jung-Ho King, he batted .220, had 18 hits, 5 runs, and 6 RBIs. Francisco Cervelli batted .198 with 18 hits, 6 runs, and 5 RBIs. And lastly, Gregory Polanco batted .226 with 21 hits, 12 runs, and 2 RBIs. So those players especially need to step it up in order for us to succeed. Now let's go on to the pitching. So our starting pitchers, Garrett Cole finished with a record of 2-3. His ERA went from .474 to .461, so it dropped a little bit, and he had 30 strikeouts. Francisco Liriano had a 3-0 record. His ERA dropped from 2.7 to 1.53. Ridiculous right there, and he had 50 strikeouts in the months. That is crazy numbers right there, and he's actually now in consideration for the Cy Young Award. He's in the top 3. Next, we have J.Locke. He had a 2-3 record. His ERA went from .316 to a 3.97. So his ERA went up. That is not a good sign, but he had 26 strikeouts. John Neese, a terrible month. going 1-3. His ERA actually dropped from a 4.5 to a 4.39, and he had 31 strikeouts. I guess he's just on the wrong end on a lot of these decisions. Then Juan Nicasio had a 2-2 record. His ERA went from a 3.9 to a 4.09, and he had 22 strikeouts. So once again, the ERA going up. And then Mark Melancon, our closer, went 0-2, had 6 saves. His ERA went from a .79 to a 1.37 and 8 strikeouts. So a couple losses in the month. Not really a good sign for that, but he's still a very good closer for us. On to the bullpen. Tyler Glasnow, 0-2 record. ERA going from a 4.15 to a 4.81, and he had 5 strikeouts. Ryan Vogelson had an 0-0 record. ERA dropped from a 7.45 to a 4.57, so that's a good sign right there. We needed his ERA to drop a little bit, and he had 12 strikeouts. Jared Hughes had a 1-1 record, go with a ERA of 2.35, dropping to a 3.24 with 8 strikeouts. Arquimedes Caminero, 0-0. His ERA went from a 1.69 to a 2.25, so that went up a little bit. And then Neftali Feliz, 1-0, 7.84 ERA, dropping to a 3.81. That was a great sign for him, and he had 17 strikeouts. Lastly, we have Tony Watson, who went 1-1. ERA went from a 0 to a 0.4, and he had 9 strikeouts. So overall, our team ERA went from a 3.61 last month to a 3.25 this month. So it actually improved. We definitely need to improve some more. But anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'm out.